Hey everybody, it is Kit Davis here. We will be getting started in about 2 minutes, 2 p.m. Panama local time, 3 p.m. Eastern. I am super excited to have you guys on here. If you can imagine, uh, when I logged on, there were 330 people that signed up for this thing. We have a capacity of, I actually had to upgrade our webinar platform. So we're going to get started, guys, in about a minute and a half. For those of you who are joining us, hopefully you had a chance to take a look at some of the downloads that I shared. I'll be turning on my camera here in a minute too, just getting my hair all nice and collar all crisp. Just kidding. I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be fun. This is going to be insightful. I can guarantee that when we are done, you guys are going to know things that you didn't know before, that most people in Panama have no idea about. And that's kind of the gist of today. So we're getting started here in about a minute. In a minute. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can't see me yet, but you will. I'm going to turn on my camera. Shoot, I'll turn on my camera right now. Here I am. All right, so we are going to get started here in about 30 seconds. I want to be nice to everybody that is taking a little bit of time to get in. And I should probably let you know, and I think I said this earlier, there were like 350 people that registered for this, 320, I don't even remember. It was 325 plus when I checked. And that's cool. But this webinar capacity, I believe I bumped us up to like 250. Let's see if everybody shows up. It will be what it will be. And I'm excited to have you guys here. I believe there's a chat function. That's one thing I haven't tested yet. You'll probably have some questions. I've got some questions that you're probably going to ask, so I'll address those towards the end. But in the meantime, guys, yeah, okay, you can actually chat in your questions and I'll be able to see them. In the meantime, we'll let people slowly get logged in here for our presentation, which we will be starting in, let's call it 30 seconds. How about that? But yeah, it's going to be fun. Figure about 45 minutes or so max. Yeah, I've got a special guest that's going to be joining us. We're going to get to it here, guys. Let's get started now. I got 2 o'clock on my screen. So we're going to be on today for about 45 minutes. And before this webinar ends, you will know so much more than local real estate investors, particularly what they just haven't figured out yet, and more importantly, how to get in front of them. Today, you're going to see a series of road and mass transit projects to the tune of over $2 billion that are going to change the Panama real estate market entirely. And I can promise you that people on the ground here still have absolutely no idea about the impact in the areas that are going to pop. Because here in Panama, it's usually kind of a follow the herd mentality and less of a let's see what happens way of reactive versus proactive thinking and investing. So you get a lot of that out here. And I want to get you guys in front of it. I want you to refer to this webinar in a couple of years and say, yep, that guy was right. So I'm going to show you what I know and you can make your own decisions. You're also going to gain a deep understanding of the areas that are going to be affected in the beach development and specific town that's going to see a massive uplift as soon as this infrastructure comes online. So what I can promise you is this: if you stick around to the end, you're going to know exactly where all these new road and metro lines are going and how they'll impact Panama's property market. You're going to have access to unreleased inventory, stuff nobody's ever seen, travel credits, and in-house discounts of over $10,000. And most importantly, you're going to have a leg up on the competition in terms of buying and the path of progress. Because if you ask me, everybody says the old adage, real estate is about location, location, location. I say it's about timing. So a bit about me and my company. That's my mug. When I didn't have a beard, that was, I think, USA Today. I've been in this since 2007. in the Panama real estate business. I've been featured in all those places: Time, Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, El Capital Financiero, which is our local kind of Wall Street Journal trade magazine. So I've been around. And these are the people that are near and dear to me. On the left-hand side, you've got my team over at Panama Equity. Matthew Marks is not in that picture. He was probably out showing properties that day. He's a workhorse, like the rest of us, hardworking. And there's my family, my three boys. Got a 11-year-old, 7-year-old, and a little baby. So here's what you can expect. This is not a timeshare. I'm not trying to sell you land right next to the highway, and I'm not the guy that's going to promise that you're going to double your money in 2 years. If you didn't have a chance to take a look at some of these deliverables that I shot you guys for the registration, check them out, including Blood on the Streets. It's a article I wrote back when I got started in 2007. We also do Panama real estate updates. We do a lot of reports, YouTube videos, all that jazz. So you guys ready to see what's coming? Are you excited? I'm excited. Let's do this. So first and foremost, let's take a look at this new road project. Now, this is unreleased footage that we shot about a week ago. Nobody's seen this. I'm going to take you from the Bridge of the Americas all the way out to La Chorrera, which from that point is less than 30 minutes from the beach. You ready? You sure? Sorry. Oh, hold on. That didn't work. Oh, it did. It's going. Okay, you guys can see the video. Perfect. So this is the mega project connecting Panama City to the beaches corridor in a way that will create explosive growth and a new way of life for the areas west of the city. This 11-kilometer stretch that you're looking at right now is literally going to double our highway capacity, going from 4 lanes to 8. Add to that the 24-kilometer road that wraps around Veracruz, the sleeper project that no one else is paying attention to. And that will only add fuel to the fire. The expected delivery, guys, for this is next year. Friday night and Saturday afternoon traffic has been the bottleneck to owning property out at the beach, keeping weekenders from purchasing and preventing tourists from visiting for over 30 years. You don't try to go out there on a Friday night. You just don't do it. These two roads in the metro are being built to directly address the nearly thousands of daily commuters coming in from La Chorrera and Panama City. But no one has even considered the implications it's going to have out to the areas further west. This road can see upwards of 300,000 people on a daily. And if you're going out to the beach on a Friday night, the 54-mile trip can take up to 3 hours. These new projects are going to cut that drive time in half, and no one seems to realize it yet. But what we know and what people are just starting to understand is that the area starting as close as Playa Bonita all the way to Coronado and Punta Chame will finally become viable weekend destinations and ultimately commuter-friendly long-term residences. Imagine leaving Panama City at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and getting to the beach before sunset. Or leaving the beach on a Monday morning at 7 a.m. for an 8 a.m. Panama City meeting. You can't do that right now. Not only will the metro line and road expansions alleviate traffic, they're going to open up new economic opportunities, new areas for investment, and new zones for growth. $2 billion, guys. Now's the time to be looking at the area for investment because no one else gets on board. Sorry, but because once everybody gets on board, it is going to be too late. Hope you're able to see that video. If not, I'll make it available. It's awesome. It's like 2 minutes. It worked when I was practicing. So there's our road project, okay? And if you're watching today and already living in Panama, then you know what traffic looks like on a Friday afternoon or on a holiday, and you've probably already driven by this new road and metro project hundreds of times. Heck, that may even be why you decided to rent out at the beach for the weekend instead of buying, or maybe just not buy at all, because traffic is awful right now on a Friday afternoon and getting back on a Sunday. In less than a year, these two road projects, in less than a year, these 2 road projects are going to be delivered. And then the following year, we got our metro finishing up and going out west towards the beaches. Can you imagine how huge of an impact it's going to be on traffic? I sure can. Stay with me, guys. There's a lot more. 3 secrets of all the real estate projects in Punta Chame, or excuse me, all the real estate projects in Panama. The area around Punta Chame is going to see the biggest bump. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Buying early is the best way to build equity and get ahead of the market. You probably already know that. What you may not know is branded beachfront in Panama can pay for itself. Secret number 1, Punta Chame is about to pop. The area around Punta Chame is about to pop because of this road project. Right now, it's pretty virgin with almost no commercial infrastructure. But that's already started to change. And I'm going to tell you about what's going on right now out there. And then I'm going to tell you about what's coming. So, yeah, we've had a lot of construction out here in Panama over the last 10 years. And I would argue that that's probably kept prices down a little bit. Oversupply. We don't hide that information. Been very transparent about that. It is what it is. There are definitely some success stories, though. Casco Viejo, for example, the area just outside of the historic district, and even the historic district itself, we've seen a ton of gentrification out there. Due in part because of the Cinta Costera, which is the road that wraps around Casco Viejo. Prices have come up out there. But you say, what about Coronado? Make sure this video plays for you guys here. It's not an amazing video, but so there we go. You can see it. So what about Coronado, right? That's out at the beach. Coronado is kind of already built out. Yes, of course it will see a bump, but not the biggest bump because it's kind of already on the map. And unless you have $2 million and you want a mansion, it's probably not even worth looking at if you want to be right on the water and have something really nice. So let's head back from Coronado about 5 miles back towards Panama City to look at Punta Chame. So where's Punta Chame? Here's a visual of Punta Chame and its location compared to Panama City. See Panama City up there? About halfway between Punta Chame is La Chorrera. And about halfway between La Chorrera and Panama City are 2 new road projects and a metro project. So we've got massive highway expansion plus a new metro for about half of your trip. And something happened this Wednesday that I'm going to tell you guys about in a second that I wasn't even prepared for. That's even sort of proof of concept. Give me a minute. So here's a quick visual on Punta Chame, which, by the way, is the closest white sand beach to Panama City. Hopefully you guys can see that little quick video. Yeah, there it is. This is Punta Chame, specifically the area around Playa Caracol, and this is the area I think that's going to see a huge bump once all these road and metro projects are completed. It's virgin, almost completely untouched, and it's about to get the project of all projects to get things started in Chame, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But guys, this area is beautiful. Long stretches of sandy beaches. You got a beautiful bay on one side, Pacific Ocean on the other, mountains, a little town, the whole 9 yards. And just wait to see what's coming here. So, haven't got your wheels turning yet? You're probably wondering what something like this is going to cost. Well, secret number 2, beachfront real estate is not as expensive as you think. For context, let's pop over to Miami, Florida, right on the water in Brickell. Oof. Can't tell you how many Florida buyers I'm getting right now. Anyone from Florida on here? Cool. Well, Brickell, 1.5 million gets you about 1,600 square feet. Nice, nice. I mean, that's upscale. Look at those HOAs. $3,500 a month. Taxes will get you there too. Property taxes in Florida. It's no joke. About $14,000 a year, I think. I can't do the math that quick. It's more than 16,000. Okay. So, right. Hamptons, also 2-bedroom condo, 1.8 million. Oh boy. HOAs are a bit less. Taxes will get you though. Now let's take a look at some real estate in Panama. The city. Panama City. Panama City, Panama. Here's Ocean Reef, right here in Panama City. This is actually a project that my friend Alfredo did. You're going to hear from him in about 5 minutes. Nobody, not especially me, thought he could pull it off. But he's the guy that built these 2 artificial islands in Panama. And you want to know a secret? The first buyers have done really well out there. So just so you have some context, these 2 bedrooms are selling, and I mean selling, for around $800,000 a month. Holding costs, figure about $600 a month. Taxes, once they kick in, another $650 a month. Sticker price on this bad boy, ocean view, right over the marina. Nice, like a real nice upscale, $800,000. They started at about $500,000, but you ask me, I still think that's kind of a lot of money to pay for a condo anywhere, especially in Panama. So stay with me here, guys. I got one more point that we need to cover so you can see why I'm so fired up right now about what's going on. I'm fired up. The last thing I want to add here is that Panama is in love with brands. In fact, I would argue that in general, Latin America, people, particularly buyers and travelers, tend to gravitate towards brands. You should have seen the lines when they opened up that first Starbucks in Panama. Shoo! Which leads me to secret 3. Branded real estate in Panama is crushing right now. About 10 years ago, the first branded development came to Panama, and that was the Trump brand, which is now the JW Marriott. A few years later came the U brand from Europe, YOO. The Europeans say yo. I'm an American. I say you. Now we got a Fendi Tower finishing up, as well as a branded condo featuring Louis Vuitton interiors. The long short of it, guys, is that there are only a handful of branded developments in Panama, and they're all doing really well. Okay, so where's this all going? Well, we've been talking a while, and you've just started to hear about a combination of factors that is going to change the game here in Panama once these new road projects are completed. So here's my question. How many of you guys would be interested in continuing the conversation? I know I talk a lot and I talk fast, but I put together a special package in the one project that I think is going to pop. It's the right location, the right name, and the timing couldn't be better. Would you like me to share it with you now? So Margaritaville is coming to Panama, and I think it is set up to be the most successful real estate development in the country has ever seen, and also the tip of the iceberg for Punta Chame. I'm going to get Alfredo on this call so you can hear what else he's doing out there, what his vision for it is. But people still have no idea about the drive time. Once these new roads are met, they're not even thinking beach right now. It's not even an option because people in Panama, locals, foreigners, whatever, tend to be a little short-sighted, and it needs to be done. They need to drive it before they can believe it. And by the way, people have no idea about the strength of this brand in the US and the Caribbean. Today, I want to make sure that anyone on this call who is even remotely considering a beach condo in Panama gives this one some serious contender status. So here's what you can expect. Because this is what they've already done. Margaritaville is one of the fastest growing hospitality brands in the US. They now have 10 international locations. And last month, were just named by J.D. Power and Associates, like a legit name, as the #1 hotel brand for guest satisfaction. Meaning, if you still haven't heard of these guys, you're about to. And they chose Panama because they knew everything that we've been talking about. But I'm convinced that people here on the ground still have no idea what's coming. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of this development, I wanted to invite someone very special for a few minutes. It's the guy building the project. Hopefully we can make this happen. Mr. Alfredo Aleman. A ver, Don Alfredo. Might have to call in if it doesn't work. Let me check my WhatsApp, make sure he's good. You good, Alfredo? I think he's watching right now. So, guys, I've been planning this bad boy for a month now, and trying to get Alfredo Aleman to sit down for 10 minutes is a hard feat to accomplish. Alfredo and his company have built some of the most iconic brands in Panama. Remember those two artificial islands in Panama City that nobody thought that was possible to build? That was Alfredo. Ever been to Albrook Mall? Alfredo. Embassy Club, one of the nicest gated communities in Panama, also Alfredo. These guys have a 30-plus year track record of successfully developing in Panama. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alfredo Aleman. Can you hear me, Alfredo?
How are you, sir? How are you doing? Good
Yes,
evening.
good. I'm good. And thank you. Thank you for joining. Alfredo, I hope you heard the introduction. You are a great guy, and I am appreciative that you've been able to join us today.
Thank you very much for having me, Kent. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So I kind of want to grill you a little bit. So for the benefit of the people listening, so how did you? I want to talk Margaritaville for a minute. How did you decide on this brand?
So, I remember in the 1990s listening Jimmy Buffett music while studying and partying, and it really caught my attention. I enjoyed it very, very much. I did my first year in Florida, so you can imagine the setting. And in 2020, in the middle of COVID, I was strategizing where Playa Caracol should go, and we were studying different alternatives. And the only one that fit right at the beginning, immediately, was Margaritaville because it's extremely differentiated, and the beach lifestyle is the one that we identify with. The decor, the program, the amenities, everything made sense. So it was a quick fit, and since then we started working on the details, and here we are with you in this interview.
I love it. Well, cheers. Yeah, thank you. So what do you envision for Chame? And why do you think it hasn't quite taken off like a place like Coronado?
Okay, that's a good question. So Coronado is a 50 year plus community. We made the first deliveries 2018, 2019. It's when the community started to build. Right now, this community is about 700 strong people. We are projected to have about 1,000 families, residents, owners in 2 years.
Can I stop you for
So
1 second, guys, to clarify? Alfredo is speaking very humbly, but he was the first one out there. And quite frankly, he's kind of the only one right now. And he's been able to already deliver about 700 units right there in Playa Caracol and Chame. Go ahead, sir. Pardon the interruption.
So, as a matter of fact, I mean, when we went there, there was nothing, and so that's what really convinced us that that was the right place. It was magical, and it was a white canvas. Right now, I'm very proud to say that by the end of the year, we will have a hotel, we will have two restaurants, four bars, a gym, a spa, three event venues, a market, a transitory clinic. So this is growing at
One
a
more time
dramatic.
out. Sorry, I know these people are listening, but I think it's worth, as they say in Spanish, sobresaltando, like kind of highlighting. He didn't say in a few years. He said in a few months, guys. So that's another kind of insight that Chame is finally going to have some infrastructure. Like, yeah, they've got a few little restaurants, a pindin here and there, but not the high quality facilities that Alfredo's literally putting in right now as a pioneer. Go ahead, Alfredo.
And Kent, I think that the most differentiated factor in this whole community is the fact that more than 90% of its components or residential hotels have direct walking distance beach access or ocean views. So this is a project, this is a development, this is a community that is integrated with the beach, with the ocean. We have a 5 kilometer long strip of land that is that is the one that we are developing. And you mentioned location, location, location. Yes, timing, timing, timing. Yes, but the reality is that fundamentally speaking, this community has characteristics that set it apart. It is set apart. It is not another community. It's at another level, not higher, not lower. It's a different community. And Margaritaville uh, does have the, I would say, I'm going to say the term mojo, okay, that we were looking
Smash.
for. This escapism, Kent, is escapism. You enter a Margaritaville resort, and more so the one that we are developing. We're going 100%, 101% in, and you're going to enter another world, okay? And the setting itself is unique. The brand itself is unique. So we believe that in 50 years' time, we will be in a community. The one that I am dreaming is a community that is for a first home, second homes, hotels, people that will go to the city to work and come back. A city like no other. Okay, another, let's say, California. Okay, in the 1850s. Okay, this is California. I think I'm very happy to be involved. Ken, personally, I need to say this because having built the islands, which was a 2 decade long effort, now I'm ready for this new challenge, and we are trucking, we're grinding, and we're doing well. And Margaritaville will take us to another level.
Man, I couldn't have said it better myself. But okay, so we know Panama, and we know a lot of these builders. They kind of get in and they get out, and they just, they're just kind of wipe their hands of it. What? How are you guys going to stay involved after delivery, or are you even going to stay involved after delivery of Margaritaville?
So first of all, I need to mention that most of our developments are master plan communities. We do have, in the individual developments, high rises, but most of our developments are master plan communities. So we're used to being involved for more than a decade. Okay, that doesn't scare us. I mean, we're used to it, and we're long-term players. So we understand that we have to be right for more than a decade. Regardless of that, and Caracol is a large development. We Answering your question, your particular question, we strategically have decided to retain ownership of all commercial assets. That is because we are focused and committed with the experience. We need to guarantee the quality of the services and what are the services that will be provided in this community in the long run. So we remain faithful to our lifestyle promise.
I love it. Yeah, skin in the game and there for consistency. So I got one more question, but I kind of want to put an underline on a couple important things just to make sure that people got this. Alfredo owns 5 kilometers of beachfront property out there. If you know Panama already, you know that most 5 kilometer stretches of ocean in Panama either have beachfront mansions or like kind of nothing near, nothing close, way out in the boondocks. This is the same guy that built Ocean Reef, the 2 islands. This is the same guy that built the iconic Albrook Mall and literally dozens of other, almost hundreds of other projects. This is kind of going to be, I think, Alfredo's legacy. I'm from Hawaii. I was going to mention this earlier, but I almost want to mention it while you're on the interview. As I was learning more about your plans, and the reason I wanted to do this presentation is because I think that knowledge alone is, this guy owns all this beachfront and plans on doing things like a boardwalk. I mean, I don't know if you're going to do a boardwalk, but like if you have commercial infrastructure, I'm thinking Waikiki, you know. But anyway, Sorry, unscripted, but that's kind of it came to mind. Last question for you, and then I'm gonna share what we are now able to offer, which nobody's seen before. How do you think this brand is going to compete in Panama with brands like JW Marriott and other folks out here?
So another good question, but let me address that a comment about Waikiki. I spent a week and a half in Waikiki Beach. We kind of like stayed there for all that time, and those were happy days, my friend, and I want to repeat those happy days. Okay, I still remember me going out to surf in the morning, coming back, having a couple drinks, and going later in the afternoon for a second session. And the gentle waves like the ones that we have in Caracol, because Caracol has very nice waves.
Yep.
You took me there for an instant, and those I have very good memories of that, and that is why I identify a lot with Caracol. And you talk about legacy, and it is some sort of one of the goals. But to be honest, the goal is achievement. Be capable of with the help of many individuals, stakeholders, be able to put this together, this destination, world class destination in Panama. And addressing your question, because I want to tie it into that last comment, okay?
Yep.
This unique regional destination, tourism, and first home, okay, is going to be at another level. So I do value the other brands very much. I respect them. I know that they are very appealing. They have a lot of advantages, and they are very successful. Okay, so what we're doing right now, we're doing our own play. We are buying our own chessboard. This is another game. This is not their game. We're buying another chessboard, okay, and we're gonna start playing our own chess game, okay.
Blue Ocean.
We want to play at a different level, another game, not their game, and this is going to be very differentiated.
I think.
Again, I want to
I,
stress the word differentiated, because we're not competing on the same matters. We want to offer something that is unique, a unique selling proposition, okay,
Well, and it's the
for the
same guys that
short
are
term.
filling up. Sorry to interrupt. It's the same guys that are filling up hotels like Sofitel, the American Trade. Yeah, it's not just that market, but we've already seen that market. Alfredo, I got to keep going on my presentation, my friend. Do you have any further comments or closing thoughts?
Thanks for the time, and we appreciate your exposure. I mean, Panama is a wonderful country, and we welcome people from all over the world. And I hope that you are a prophet, and bring in more people to love Panama and stay in Panama.
I love Panama, so I can't contain my joy. Anyway, awesome. Thanks, Alfredo. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Take care. Huh?
Okay.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. That's a big fish right there, guys. That is the Alfredo Aleman. So what you're going to get is top quality out there. Why is that important? Because when you don't get quality, you kind of get expensive upkeep and poor performance. GLP has a track record of delivering on time and way up market. Okay, this is some of the stuff that's just Ocean Reef. So I found this one online. We buy GLP because historically we've done really well. You guys can read that on the screen, but I'm going to tell you, this is the kind of developer that once you start buying for them, you're like, yeah, I'm good. What are you doing next? And for better, for worse, you know, some of the units are already gone in Margaritaville because this stuff came out friends and family before even real estate folks like us got access to it. But the good news is I got some unreleased inventory coming up in a minute. Let's cover some pretty important dates here. So timing, people start driving that entire road. People start realizing what's possible. Here's the news from this week. Wednesday, they just released 3 of the lanes. They just opened them up outside the city in the area called Loma Cova, and people are going kind of crazy. That's like one of the bottlenecks. Poof, that's open this last Wednesday. So it's happening. This is not like, oh, hope. No, it's already happening. Let me talk about some markets that don't exist right now. Okay, so we've got Quality Construction. We already know that, world famous brand, cool. But why now? Why are we even here? Well, this new road project is going to open up the opportunity to own a property and just kind of use it on the weekends if you want. Tour companies are actually going to attempt to go out there on a Friday afternoon, and a massive pipeline in general from Panama City to the beach, and that's starting soon. So let me show you what's going to be going on out there in Punta Chame, in Alfredo Aleman land. The same guy that built a lot of really nice stuff already. Remember this area, these mountains, this ocean, this peninsula, guys, is absolutely one of a kind. That's an actual photo, and that's a project that's already built. Margaritaville, let's go right next to it, bottom left there. Remember what Alfredo said earlier, guys? So yeah, I'm from Hawaii. You don't have stretches of beach with like condos and restaurants like a Cancun or a Waikiki. Like, it's kind of an old real estate, adage or real estate model. I mean, it's kind of what's popular, a bunch of hotels, a bunch of condos. You can walk the beach. That doesn't exist in Panama, and it couldn't exist without a guy like Alfredo who went in and bought 5 kilometers of beachfront. Boom. So you don't have to deal with neighbors. You don't have to deal with people fighting. You don't have to deal with the rich guy that builds a giant mansion, and now you can't even get down to the beach. This is all coming. Margaritaville's just the first kind of drip out here. This is the formula that works all over the world, doesn't exist in Panama. And I would argue that Alfredo is the guy to make this happen. So again, what can you expect? These are some Margaritavilles around the world. I want to show you those again. How awesome is this going to be? So here's a pool from Margaritaville. I'm going to get to the amenities in a second, but Margaritaville does not skimp. Contractually, they cannot. They have a brand that they have to keep up. And Alfredo's, as he mentioned, is keeping all the commercial space in-house. That also happens in Panama. You get commercial spaces that kind of just sort of start to lose the quality. That will not happen here. Recapping. The beach is about to get a lot closer. We got no strong brands out at the beach. And these guys are going to be the first, and these guys are already the best. Imagine that stretch of beach in like 10 years. Let's look at the numbers real quick. There's literally nothing like this in Panama right now. So break even, 1 bedroom, $800 to $1,000 a month. That's your HOA. That's like power, electricity. Let's say the average monthly rate is $220. Let's cut that in half. $110. Giveaway price. That's what? 10 nights. Not even 9 nights. And you're covered. 4 weekends. Sure, you don't get to use it over the weekend, but you could. It's yours. It's not a timeshare. You use it whenever you want. Put in property management. I'm just saying that I think this place will be able to attract some tourists. I think this place will probably rent out well. And the road kind of helps that along a little bit. Here's a 2-bedroom apartment, spacious, ocean views, beach club access. You put in the rental pool if you want, all the bells and whistles. Margaritaville, guys. Google the brand. You got restaurants, bars, kids areas, fitness, equipment center, equipment rentals. Normally something like this, $440,000. These all sold out during friends and family. But hold on. So again, recapping. New drive time that nobody seems to really get yet. And just this week, people are like, oh, wow. Margaritaville brand. I think it's going to crush it in Panama. Ownership that pays for itself. And some pretty good timing. So I've been planning this for about a month. Haven't done one of these in 10 years. And I kind of beat up Alfredo. And I said, man, we need to offer something that nobody's seen. So Today only for this webinar, we've pre-negotiated discounts of between 7,500 and 10 grand off the published prices for units that have for some reason come back on the market. We've also got some special terms I'm going to show you here in a second. Now, let me remind you guys, Punta Chame right now looks exactly like Coronado did about 20 years ago. And when it's built out completely, it's going to look nothing like anywhere in Panama. And you would have been the first ones in before it happened. Here's what else is kind of cool about this list. With us, phase 3, nobody's seen those units. I've got 3 bedrooms. I've got a total of 3 bedrooms still left. Still left. First time on the market right now. None available in the entire project, phases 1 and 2, because those were the first to sell, and that reduces prices. So stick with me for a second here, guys. So let me ask you, if all this property was just an awesome beach property to get away to, would it be worth it? What about if it paid for itself? Would it be worth it? What about if you actually purchase it ahead of the masses with instant equity appreciation? Would that be worth it? So, how can you make this happen? Well, these are, the beginning is standard terms. The middle is stuff that we've negotiated. So 5,000 to hold down, and then 10% is signature, normal. Normally, that's refundable, by the way. Now, normally they require a total of 40% down. For this presentation, I've been able to offer special terms. So it's 10% at signing, 20% down after the first 10, and you pay that over 2 years. 5 units. I think we've got like a total of 10. I can offer that on 5. He doesn't want to do all 10 because, yeah, I get it. You've already got an improved payment plan for the first 5 people, and then it's 10% down, and then 30% over the next 2 years for everybody else. Still not bad. You kind of get in and just sort of pay as you go, and then the balance is due, obviously, at the end. Another thing that we are just rolling out is the fly and buy, which is kind of cool. If you need to come down and see it first, okay, right on, all good, no pressure. And that is 4 days, 3 nights, completely paid. Well, I should say all inclusive. It costs $1,500 to do this, and that is a complete A to Z experience. You go look at some properties. You can meet with the lawyer, meet with someone from our team, look at properties, hotel, food, drinks out on the private island, the whole kit and caboodle. Obviously, we'd go out to the beach so you can see what's going on, drive right by the new road. As of Wednesday, drive right on the new road, part of it. So you got that as well, plus $1,000 that you can credit towards your purchase for airfare if you have to fly out here. So that's another $2,500 off. And that's it, guys. So I know that we've got pretty much 15 minutes here left. I want to do a little timer so we know kind of like what's, then it's just going to turn off. So let's see here. Can you guys? All right. So it's 5,000 down. You can get started by clicking. So you probably have a few questions, and I'll actually go to the, let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Questions. When is this going to be built again? Well, this is going to be done in June 2027. So like 3 years. Groundbreaking in December. How much are the HOA fees? $5.50 a meter. So that works out to be what? About like 48 cents, 50 cents a square foot. What else is in the area? Oh my gosh. So Chame, arguably, you got to kind of drive a little bit and you get to like a little town. But in the area in general, obviously you've got surfing and fishing, and kite surfing is a big one out there. And then, you're what? 15 minutes from Coronado, 20 minutes from Coronado. Great surfing as well in Chame, as Alfredo alluded to. And then You could drive another 30 minutes and you're up in the mountains. You can get up to El Valle, probably around 45 minutes to kind of get up there. But yeah, tons in the area, guys. Beautiful out there. What other questions? What happens if they don't deliver? Well, that's a good one, Kent. You get your money back. These guys have been around for a long time. So yeah, there will be no nefarious activity here in terms of people taking your money. I'm gonna check the chats here to see if we have any other questions. Deposit, fully refundable. Yes. Short-term rental be possible, allowed there. Absolutely. Oh, can I put this on the screen? Sorry, guys. I haven't practiced this part. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Yeah, I can't. So, Tamarin, deposit is fully refundable. Christoph, short-term rental will be possible and very much allowed there. In fact, there's no short-term restrictions outside of Panama City, Panama. So now the buildings themselves do restrict it, but obviously not in a building like this. But buildings technically could. If all the owners got together and say, we don't want any short-term tenants, then they could put a rule, a law in the propiedad horizontal, the property regime that says no. But that's kind of the model. So I don't see that happening. Informative, exciting. Thank you, Sandra. Let the man talk. Fair, William. Sorry, I tend to get a little excited. Scuba diving. So, I mean, scuba diving gets really good when you get off the shore a little bit. I'm not an expert on water clarity, but I can tell you that sometimes those waters are a little bit turbid. Visibility is not that awesome right in front of Chame. So yeah. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. I got 11 minutes. I might sign off so I'm not just sitting here yapping, but I can see your questions. Flying by. Okay, Adrian, awesome. Send me an email. I will. Sorry, I didn't hot link that one on the webinar. But yes, just reply to your invitation and we'll send you. There's a landing page with everything. It's very easy. Let's see here. Awesome. Thank you guys for the questions. Property management. Yes, Frank. Typically that's going to be around 20%, so not cheap. But yeah, that's the going rate for short-term rentals here. Deposits held in escrow. Well, Curtis, unfortunately, here in Panama, deposits usually go right into the ground, into the project itself. So obviously you want to have a project that is built by someone reputable, built by someone that owns the land, financed by a bank that's going to stick around for a while to somewhat mitigate your risk. But let's say it goes belly under. We've seen that a few times in Panama, and in 99% of the times, what happens is somebody else acquires the project and continues. Otherwise, they go into bankruptcy and you get in line. It's not fun. It hasn't happened very often. These guys, though, I mean, when they're taking 30 to 40% down and they're financed by one of the most regulated and well-known banks in Panama, I would say your risk is somewhat mitigated. But hey, until it's done, until you get the keys, it's never really done. A to Z. Thank you, Frank. I hope that's a compliment. Has a developer secured community? Yes, they have. Percentage sold units. Phase 1 and 2 is like 80% already, guys. So yeah. Jan, marina plans. I haven't heard of them. Haven't seen them. Maybe on the backside, but it gets kind of shallow out there. And between us girls, I think we have way too many marinas in Panama anyway. It's a bit, and they're very expensive to build. So I haven't heard of a marina plan out there. I don't expect one to go in. But you never know, man. I mean, Alfredo built that marina in the middle of the city, and I felt kind of bad because I didn't believe in it. But now I've seen enough of his track record to know that these guys deliver. So, yeah. Any other questions, guys? Thank you. Let's see. Email the presentation. I don't think so. I don't think I can't because it's going to be irrelevant after this. So I can figure out a way to get you the nuts and bolts of it though, Frank. We're doing it again on Wednesday because I know, I think I've gotten some angry emails already. I can't get into the webinar despite registering. Sorry. Okay. put the layout back on the screen. Well, that's one layout, Chris. So there's a couple different layouts. Curtis, excuse me. I can do that. Sure. Let's see. Da, 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 da. A ver. That is a 2-bedroom. I don't know if you guys can see my little thing, but for these particular ones, you walk in. There's the open kitchen. There is the ocean right out here. And for these units, guys, I've got a like a schema to show you exactly, like, this is room 407 and that's, going to be your ocean views, and this it's kind of a, it's flat and faces out, so you'll see what's going on there. But bedrooms 1 and 2. Bedroom 1 has a bathroom across, so that's the guest. It's not en suite, but it does have a balcony. And then your master definitely has a ensuite. So yeah, kitchen, dining room, etc. Let me get back to your questions here. I mean, that's probably an important slide, so we'll just leave that one up there. A couple more minutes. Any other questions? All units have view? Absolutely. Yes. And again, candidly, I think that it is worthwhile to include some wording, unobstructed ocean views, in the promise to purchase agreement, because, hey, you're right on the water. Unless the tide goes way out and they start getting Faustian and build on the ocean high rises. But yeah, I don't see that happening. Flying by, details on the deposit. Sure, Yogi. So again, it's $5,000. Flying by is $1,500. 4 nights, 3 days in Panama City. You go out to the beach. It's pretty structured. You look at a few other projects. I think it's good value, and you can apply all of that. So you got to pay for it initially, but you got to apply all of that to. You can apply all of that plus $1,000 to your purchase, to your final sales price. It's like a free trip. Is there any penalty for late delivery? Yes, there absolutely is. Lil. Yes, but the developers usually leave plenty of buffer. I believe they've already got like 12 months grace period after the expected delivery. So, I mean, I can tell you historically, despite even COVID, these guys, I mean, they weren't building during COVID, but it didn't set them back as far as other developers in Panama. So, yeah, I mean, Alfredo, love him to death. He said, hotels are going up in December. Maybe it ends up being January just because it's Panama. I mean, the inevitable happens. Plus, we get a ton of holidays, but you never know. I mean, hey, he's definitely a man of his word. So, and I think they're way far advanced on those. So, yeah, unless there was any kind of issue with, I don't know what. I'm not a builder. What causes stuff to be kind of snagged at the very end, like what they call the bomberos, which is the firefighters, and the some of the permissions that the firefighters have to grant related to the occupancy permit. But yeah, the structure is already there for these hotels that he mentioned. So keep them coming, guys. This thing's gonna clunk out on us here in a couple minutes. Send me WhatsApp numbers so we can chat at your convenience. Thank you, Yogi. Yeah, just fill out the form. Either myself or Matt will get back to you. Be happy to answer individually any questions you have, to everyone for that matter. It is kind of like first come, first serve. Thanks, Richard. Haven't done one of these in like 10 years, so I'm glad you found it valuable. I really do, guys. I see some people are still on here. Alfredo owns a ton of beachfront out there, and Alfredo is the guy to kind of revolutionize Panama. He's done it before. And I think that, yeah, I think Margaritaville is just the beginning out there, honestly. And just to be able to walk a beach. I mean, you guys have all been to like Cancun or Waikiki or Myrtle Beach. It'd be a little bit classier than Myrtle Beach. No hating on anybody from South Carolina out there, but that just has not been possible. And then add it to the road, like, oh my gosh, wow, that was easy to get out there versus, oh my God, traffic. That is literally putting up a roadblock for potential buyers. So that's why I wanted to do this, guys. And the Loma Coba delivery of this little tranche of road is kind of proof of concept already. Like people that live in Arahan are like, whoa, okay, traffic. They're going to be home for dinner tonight for the first time ever. So yeah, it's not like planned. It's already like 3/4 of the way. I hope that you could see that video. I couldn't see that video while I was over there yapping. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna sign out here. Thank you. Oh, we got one more question. A la orden, Ariane. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I think more info about this project, Don Jorge. Just go to Panama Equity. Just send me an email, kent@panamaequity.com. Just respond to whatever webinar invitation you received, and either myself or Matthew. Probably got a pretty full inbox right now, but yeah, first come, first serve, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you all for watching, and see y'all at the beach. Ciao.